welcome to the, well, this is the last one because I promised you May 1st through 15th, and today is the 15th. Now, what I'm going to try to do, I admit this has been really, really good. A lot of people seem to have benefited from sharing this information. So what I would like to do, I can't quite keep up this everyday schedule, but I would like to try to do a few days a week until I figure out how maybe I can pre-record some or something like that and then get back to once a week. But right now, for the rest of May, I have a lot on my plate with doing the new live streams every Wednesday. So maybe in June, we'll get back to once a day and we'll see how it goes, okay? You guys really like this, and I like when you like stuff, and I, try to meet that demand as best I can. So, for those of you who may be new to this, what we're doing is closing out a 2-week promotion of advice letters for men and women. It was really just for women, but the men got in on it too because they had some issues. But what it involves is people writing me advice letters. I respond to them on the air versus, on the video versus how I usually do it, which is in written form and posted up on my blogs. So it's a different format, and it makes me think a lot, like right on my feet. So sometimes, I listen to it and I think, oh, I should have said this, I forgot to say that. But, whatever. I'm doing the best I can do considering this like thrown in my face and I respond like 10 seconds later. So let's get going. This is the last one. I think I have, I don't know, at least 2. I think I have 7 or maybe even 8 questions for you this time. So it's going to be a long one. So get ready. I got my water ready because you know how my throat gets. Dear Deborah, I'm 48. I just celebrated my 16th anniversary. I have 2 children, a 15-year-old son and a 10-year-old daughter. I'm a cross-dresser in the closet. Wait a minute, why is he writing me? I haven't, quote, dressed for years, ignoring the rare times I put on my wife's bra while doing laundry in the basement. Over the past few years, I've felt the compulsion to come out to my wife. One side of me, the majority, thinks that this would be too disruptive to my wife and children and to all we've accomplished together. That's right. I've been able to contain my passion for years, regulating it to a fantasy when I get busy with my wife or, myself. I'm psychologically prepared to take my secret to my grave, but somewhat scarred emotionally. I believe my wife would be shocked. Do I tell her? Is honesty the best policy? Okay, wait a minute. You talking about you being scarred emotionally. You one person and you the one with this weird fetish. You start talking about this kind of stuff, you're going to fuck up your kids, and you're going to fuck up your wife, and you're going to fuck up your marriage, and you're going to fuck up your parents, and you're going to fuck up her parents, and it's just going to be a hot mess, okay? No. I am a firm believer in the shut up and keep it to your damn self method of communication when it comes to this kind of stuff. Some things, my brother, are really just best kept to yourself. I don't know how to tell you to balance that. This honestly, in all the years that I've been an advice columnist, and we're talking going on 30 years, this is the first time I've gotten a letter about cross-dressing. So I'm sitting here like, what? What do I do? What do I say? What does this mean? Who is this man? Why did he write me? I have so many questions. But, I think this is the part that bothers me because, with all this trans stuff and everything, I think what people do in the privacy of their bedroom is their business. It's nobody else's business. You don't need to broadcast what you like to do, especially in a situation where you entered into it as a normal heterosexual man. Your children, your son especially, is looking at you that way. Your daughter, I can't say really her needs are any different. And you want to change the deal midstream. See, that's not fair to them. Those kids didn't ask you to birth them and be a man. I feel the same way about Bruce Jenner's, little girls, them youngest ones that he had with Kris Jenner. He just fucked them over with no concern for how it was going to impact them mentally, emotionally, psychologically. He just, doing himself. So for you, I say the same thing. I don't have a problem with people having like in their mind like this private bank of fantasies that they draw on in the moments when they need to feel more excitement, or I don't know, to get them over the top or whatever. That's fine. Do what think what you want to think. But once you start telling people, I have to ask you, what would be your goal? What is that you're trying to accomplish by telling your wife this when you've happily kept this secret all this time? And you say yourself you haven't done it for years, but occasionally you put. So, I mean, if it's like kind of tapered off in your life, why would you suddenly now feel the urge to tell your wife this? What do you think, how she's going to feel about you and about her marriage and about how stressed she's going to be about her children and what's going to happen to them and what they're going to be thinking. I mean, you're going to be opening up a whole bag of worms for something that you barely even participate in. Why would you do that? See, to me, when you start talking like this, you after attention. You after attention, and that's why you want to do this. There's no reason for you to share that. You're just going to flip your wife right into her shrink's office, and your kid's going to be right behind her. Dude, I mean, that's the kind of thing that you do after your wife and kids are dead. I don't know. I don't really know what to say to this letter. I'm just like kind of kind of stunned. But I think the scarring that you're talking about that you're gonna have from withholding this information from your wife is nothing compared to the scarring that you're going to give the people that you allegedly love by coming out with this stuff. Just keep it to yourself. When nobody's home, put on your whatever you're going to do and look pretty. Lock that shit in the trunk in the attic, in the basement or somewhere, and then, just do your thing. But I don't think that this is really something that you ought to be doing. But if you really feel like it's going to really, stress you, try going to a counselor and see what the counselor has to say about the impact and the dynamics of your family, what may happen with them. I think, right now you're thinking, I'm glad you, considered them. Believe me, I really appreciate that. But I think that you need to delve a little bit more into what is private and what should be shared, what is your own fetish and your own private enjoyment versus what you share with your partner. Your counselor may be able to give you some ideas about how to feel your wife out. I mean, maybe she's more amenable to it than I think, more tolerant and accepting. But take baby steps, okay? Don't freak her out. And, this woman just loves you. I mean, she's been with you all these years, and she loves you as a man. A man in, like, pants with a beard, not in a bra and lacy panties. So, think about that before you mess up something. Letter number 2, Deborrah. My ex-boyfriend is a guy I broke up with 6 years ago. What? Still calls me on Christmas, Mother's Day, and my birthday, and always says that he loves me and he wants to marry me. However, nothing about his actions showed that that's the case. Whenever I called him, he would answer in a snarly voice like I was bothering him. So I stopped calling. Very good. I talk about that in my video, why women should never call men, and it's just that reason. But then he would call me months later and acts nice and says that we should hang out more and that he would marry me someday. Sometimes I don't even answer the phone, but occasionally I give in and agree to have lunch with him. We have not had sex since we broke up, so he has to understand that's not going to happen. But he keeps saying that we live so close to each other and we should be seeing each other more often, and that he doesn't call me for months. But is he keeping in touch, hoping that I will have sex with him in a moment of weakness? He's not all that in bed, but he is fun to talk to and spend time with. He called me last week after 2 months of being missing in action, but I didn't answer the phone. What's the point if I know that he would disappear again? Miss Deborah, is he doing this to keep tabs on me? What do you think is the reason he can't forget my number? I blocked his text, but I can't block phone numbers on my phone. What should I do? You may not be able to block them on your phone, but you can block them through your carrier. That is how that works. Each carrier has a website. You have an online account. You go in there and you go to block numbers or privacy or whatever it is called, and you input his phone number, and then he will get a message saying that this party is unavailable. Okay. Alternatively, if you can't even do that, I don't know what care you would have that you can't do that. What is your problem? You see, when you do stuff and you keep talking to somebody and you giving in and you know stuff over a 6 year period, that tells me that you don't really want him out of your life. You still want to be bothered with him. Because otherwise, you would have changed your number. Even if it costs $10 or whatever, usually it's, if you do so many times, it's free. And then you can give it to, the people that you want to have it, and then don't give it to him or anybody who knows him. But you haven't done that. So 6 years later, you still have the same number. And I say you have it because you want him to be able to contact you. See, but you're right to me trying to act like, pretend like you don't. Now, why he keeps calling you? Because he's just calling to see if you hooked up with somebody. If there's any opportunity for him to slide in and tap that ass because you lonely, you know. But what you need to do, if you really want to get rid of him, you can either change your number or you can tell him, why do you keep asking? Why do you keep calling me? We broke up 6 years ago. There's no point in you calling me. And if you think you're going to get some booty, think again, homeboy, because even when we was together, you was not all that thrilling in bed. So I don't know why you be wasting your time calling me. Because that shit will never happen again. I've never been so disappointed in my life and bored in the bed, except when I was with you. You say some shit like that, didn't watch out. He won't call you no more. Letter number 3. This has really gone on too long. I should have dealt with it earlier, but I'm a coward. I need advice, Deb. I started casually dating, quote, Tom. Okay, so that means it's a fake name. About 2 months ago. We've had 6 official dates. He lives about 55 miles away, so seeing each other more frequently is difficult. On our 4th and 5th dates, I ended up paying for everything. We've been splitting up to that point. The 6th date consisted of my picking him up 55 miles away, driving back to my town, taking him to the airport another 15 miles away. On the way to the airport, we stopped at an ATM for him to get cash for his trip. He did not offer to reimburse me for any of my travel expenses. This is something I could look beyond if I felt I had a connection or future with him. But there are other factors that have made me realize he is not the man I want. Shit. Just the fact that he's 55 miles away is enough for me. He sent me a text message today stating that he has a 4-day weekend and would like to see me this weekend. Not something I want to do. But again, being the coward I am, I can't bring myself to tell him no. I know from the things he's been saying that he's had a hard time in the dating world, that his self-confidence is low, and that he's actually quite attached to me, despite the shortness of our courtship. To top it all off, when I met him, I told him that I had been abused in my now over marriage, and that I wasn't ready for a serious relationship. Something he's ignoring. No, he's not. And it's true. The more I try to date, the worse I feel about finding someone else. I am truly not ready to date any man seriously, Prince Charming or otherwise. Can you tell me how I should explain all this to him? I would rather send him an email or text to tell him this, but I'm not sure if it's appropriate or totally cold. Who gives a fuck? Okay, see, you are just fucking up right and left with this situation. So you know you haven't been dating long because you don't even know how to handle yourself. Okay, you picked him up like he's the woman. You picked him up, you drove him back to your town, and then you drove him 15 miles. What are you, an Uber now? You're supposed to tell him to bring his ass to your house in an Uber, a cab, a bus. I don't care how he hitchhiked, whatever way he needs to get there, but you don't ever pick up a man. Never. Don't ever, ever, ever do that. And then he stopped at the ATM to get cash for his trip, and he didn't offer to reimburse you for any of your travel expenses. Did you ask him to? I mean, he's going to assume, like most people, that you did that out of the kindness of your heart or because you really like him or something. Because there's no way in the world, if you get 55 miles and 55 miles, that's 110 miles to pick up somebody that you don't even really like that much. See, Deb ain't putting 10 miles on my car. If, I just don't make life, you're making stuff too easy for him. Okay, so then you say, he has a 4-day weekend. He would like to see me over that 4-day weekend. You don't want to do it, but you will be in the car that you can't bring myself to tell him no. Why not? It's not something you want to do. See, boundaries again. I'm telling you, y'all wear me out with this lack of boundaries. You're not being a coward. You're just lonely and desperate, and so you trying to act like you don't really like him, but in reality, you're happy that he wants to come and some time with you because you're tired of just looking at yourself. Even though he's a knucklehead and he's cheap and he's a user, you still want to be around him. And then he hit you with the wine story. Okay, see, another video that I did on the man, the poor me dude. That's what he is. Oh, she, my self-confidence is low from rejection, and oh, I've had a hard time dating. None of the women want me. Oh my God. And I really like you, and even though it's been a short time, I really like. Okay, so he's playing a game with your head, and you, in your, you know, dumbness. I can't. I'm trying to think of a more polite word, but I can't. In your dumbness, you going along with the okie doke. Um, you don't let some man talk to you about that. Who gives a fuck if his self confidence is low? Go see a fucking shrink and raise it. You had a hard time in the dating world. That's because you stupid. Just judging by your behavior, I see why you single and why you having a struggle. You struggling with dating somebody because no woman want to date a man like you. The way you act, oh my God. And then you say to top it off, you told him that you've been abused and stuff. Why the fuck are you telling this man all this stuff about yourself? You just met him. And you tell him all these like details about your life. What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh my God, these women. You don't tell no man that some shit like that. You're giving him the tools that this dude I used to date, he used to call the keys to the kingdom. That's what you're giving him by telling him the kind of treatment that you accepted and tolerated before. So he knows that you have that in you and you will tolerate abusive behavior, which is what he's doing to you. Lack of respect. He's not honoring you and he's not treating you like a woman. How should you explain all this to him? Well, this is what you do. You say, look here. You ain't coming to my house for the no 4 days. I don't want to be bothered with nobody for 4 days. I'm really not feeling you the way that you behave towards me. I'm not feeling it. This, paying half shit is like, what buddies do. I did it with my girlfriends. We pay for stuff. So with my girlfriends, I don't fucking kiss them. So guess what? I'm not doing that with you either. You want something romantic, you need to present yourself as a man who has a romantic interest in right now. You're not doing that. So let's just cut this off. Let's cut this short. Let's not waste each other's time. And let's move on. You're not what I'm interested in. I'm not really interested in what you're talking about. And so that's that. You're not a nurse. You're not Nurse Ratchet or Betty or anybody. Oh, my hair is sticking out all crazy. That's not your job to try to mend him. And this this dumping him thing, this could take place over the phone, child. You don't need to see him. Letter number 4. I feel that I am everything a man needs. Great conversation, listening ear, great sex, exciting, dangerous, and a good cook. Why am I still single after 6 years of dating? Let me explain, Lucy. Men don't want that shit. They say they do, but that's not really what they want. What they want, you talking about you got a great conversation. They don't want to hear that. They want a woman who will shut the fuck up and just do nothing or do what they tell her to do. But they don't want a woman who's going to be yapping all the time. They don't want to hear it, see, because if they have to stop what they're doing, which is nothing, or which is watching sports or playing video games, to listen to you, see, then you're interrupting their life because you want to talk. That means he has to listen, and then he don't want that. This time of year, it interferes with them watching basketball or football. You talking, okay? They don't want you to listen to them either because they're not trying to talk. Men don't really want to communicate. That's why I did that video where I talked about, when you have something that you want to tell a man, use 5 words or less. Just, sentences, commands. They understand that. And it's like, that's as much as you're going to get on. That's as far as they're going to listen. 5 words. This many. Okay? That's it. Come eat dinner now. Come eat dinner now. Oh, that was 4. That's better. 5 or less. They don't want to talk to you because they're busy playing video games or watching basketball, watching football. And sex is great, but all sex is good for men. So sex with you is not unique. It's not special. It's not, any more wonderful than any other sex would be. So, and dangerous. Do men want a dangerous woman? I don't think so. I think dangerous women scare them. They like something to be as dependable and the same as like the ticking talking of Big Ben in England. That's what they want. And a good cook, that might work. That might be convenient. They might like that because they do like having a full belly. But if you cooking comes with talking or asking questions or wanting something from them, then they're not gonna want that either because they can just go to the drive-through and get their belly full. So, plus when you cook, you make dishes and you make trash that they have to take out and that they have to wash because they have to contribute. See, so all that's not really necessary. They don't really want all that. Just, pick them up a bag or something from the drive-through that they can throw in the trash and be done. And yeah, see, you have it all wrong. They don't really want any of those things. I know that's a crazy answer, but from what I've observed, it's the truth. They don't want all that. It's nice, but it has to be delivered with silence and obedience, and then they might like it. But number one thing is silence. They don't want you to talk. They don't want you to ask no questions. They don't want you to argue back. They don't want you to even breathe too loud. They just want you to be there like a Stepford wife in case they decide that they want some booty. Okay. Letter number 5. Dear Deb, my ex-boyfriend of 5 years who cheated on me keeps calling and wants to take me out to dinner. Oh, another ex-boyfriend letter. I keep telling him no, but I feel myself getting weak. What is wrong with me? I don't know. He played me, so why do I keep taking his phone calls? I don't know. He did come over once since our breakup and stupid me had sex with him. Why did you do that? It was great for me since he is the only guy I've been with for the past 5 years. However, it was closure for me as well. Why does he keep bugging me? He hurt me down to the core of my heart and was a waste of my time. Why can't he just leave me alone and let me get on with my life? He will leave you alone, young lady, when you make him. Right now, you haven't made him. You got to save phone number so he can keep calling you. Just like I told a lady a couple of letters ago. If you really didn't want him to call you, you would change your number. It's like real simple. Even if they charge a fee to do it, what, $10 or something? I mean, it's well worth it to get rid of an idiot. Somebody, like hers was 6 years and yours is 5. I don't understand why these dudes keep calling except that they want something from you and they know that they're going to get it. So you pay attention to him, so you take his phone call, so you talk to him, see. So he's getting something. You're still giving to him. And, you slept with him, okay? That's what he was wanting. He wanted some booty. That's why he keeps calling, because he's hoping he put it down well enough that you will, let him back in there over and over and over again. So, see, to me, you say that he hurt you to the core of your heart, yet you still talk to him as you still fuck him. Where they do that at? See, you all say one thing, but you do another. And you don't have, again, no boundaries. You don't have boundaries. There's a man who hurt you over and over and over again. Why the hell do you still talk to him? Why the hell do you still pay attention? And why the hell do you fuck him? Okay, those are the things that I just don't get about you, girl. There's no way if somebody hurts me, he can't even be so close enough to me to breathe the same air I'm breathing. You don't qualify to breathe my exhalement, motherfucker. No, get out of my face. I don't know, but it's like you just disrespecting yourself. You keep saying that you're telling him no, but you already was telling him no, and then what happened? He kept pressing you enough, and you gave in, and that's what dudes do. I don't know. You need to stop acting like you dumb, like you don't have any power here, and you need to just, change your number, or go on your page like I told the other chick, and block his number. Okay, but really, because he could call you from some other phone and you won't know you pick up. The best thing to do in a situation like this where someone is not listening to you and he has an agenda is for you to to change your number. And then he can't call you. And let that other one, don't have a referral on it, just let it, this number is not a service. And then that's it. And anybody that you know that knows him, don't give them your new number either. They can send you an email or find you on Facebook or something. Letter number 6. I am 22 and I've been in a relationship with the same man for 6 years. Damn, wait. 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. Oh, that is too long. We agreed years ago that we would take the next step once I finished college. I've recently graduated and will soon be moving to live with him. Our 6-year anniversary came and he decided that we didn't need to celebrate it because we are not married. We have celebrated them in the past, by the way. I have been bewildered and hurt by this. I feel like he doesn't value his relationship. I am or have been proud of us making it this far. Why isn't he? My mother has always said that when things suddenly change with a man, something's up. However, when I went to her for advice with his sudden change of heart, she said I was overreacting. She said to trip if he didn't want to celebrate an anniversary once we are married. I'm not engaged and no wedding plans are underway as of yet. Am I making a molehill into a mountain or do I have the right to be upset? And if so, what do I do? Okay, my suggestion is that you do not move in with this man. Your mother's right. Something has changed. I don't know what it is because, it could be that he met somebody and he's not trying to, make too many more milestones with you before he breaks the news to you that y'all ain't gonna get married. But he's made a statement, this saying that we shouldn't celebrate an anniversary if you've already been doing it. So basically what you can do is use this to your advantage. So you can tell him that he made you realize with his words that not only should an unmarried couple not celebrate an anniversary, they should also not live like married people under the same roof. And they shouldn't be like married people fucking either, because those are things that are supposed to be for married couples. So you flip that shit back on his ass. Make him regret saying those words to you. I would do that. Ooh. Oh, and seeing me all the time, sleeping with me. Oh, no. That's for married people. And we're not married. So you don't want to live like a married person under the same roof and with him, since he has that belief. And you tell him, I'm really happy that you brought that up because, you just really brought me back to my senses. I don't know what I've been thinking all these years. I've been providing you with husband benefits when you're not my husband. And that's immoral. That's not right. That's what I would do. And then I'd put his ass on ice. Whether you are married or not, these little anniversary things tend to be very important to people, especially, like I said, if you've already celebrated them in the past. But here's what you need to do. Fuck his ass up and make him regret saying those words and let him really understand what not being married means. Okay, so he want to start here, so he gets out to celebrate the anniversary, spending money on you and taking you out and stuff. Oh no, motherfucker, we gonna take this all the way to 100, and so you can really understand what not celebrating an anniversary because you're not married really means. Fuck him. Letter number 7. Wow, this is okay. Is this the last? Oh God, we got 8 letters. Dear Deborah, my best friend of 9 years has recently been spreading rumors about me. Oh, she told the guy I'm seeing that I was promiscuous. What? Had an STD. Oh no, this bitch needs her ass beat. And that he was just going to end up as another one of my sex puppets. I have only slept with one guy and we were in love and had been dating for over a year. I don't have an STD and me and the guy I'm seeing now haven't done anything more than kiss. He didn't believe her, but I just don't see how someone who is supposedly my best friend could say those kinds of things about me. How should I confront her about this? And if she admits to it, what should I do about our friendship? Should I stay in this friendship? Oh, fuck no. Okay, first of all, let's rewind a bit here. Let's rewind, because I'm going to tell you as I read your letter, this is the first thought that I had. God, these earphone things crush my ears and make my ears cut off the circulation. All right, the first question I had in my mind is, what is your new boyfriend doing talking to your best friend on that level to where they having conversations behind your back somewhere, on the phone or face to face, where you're not? What kind of shit is that? Where did that happen? And when did it happen? And why did it happen? Those would be my first questions, even more so than what you're talking about her. Oh, no. Where you get this information from and how you get it? And when did you all talk? And why did you all talk? Did you call her? Did she call you? See, those are the kind of things I want to know. So, you want to get all those facts from him, right? And then you want to go to your friends and see if the stories match up. Say, oh, so-and-so told me that you told him all this stuff. Is that true? Well, when did y'all talk? Well, why did you talk? Well, how did you get together? Who instigated that? Did you call him? Did he call? You see what I'm saying? You want to get the two stories. And, you know, you can be light and friendly about it, but you want to get all the information you can. And I would think, okay, you say you've been friends for 9 years. Okay. Damn near 10 years, you ought to be able to tell if your friend is lying to you or not. So this should be a pretty easy solve. But, judging by how she responds, you can figure out if she's lying to cover up something, which might mean that she wants this dude for herself. Or B, that he feels like your friend would be too much of a positive influence on you to his ratchetness. And so he wants her out of the picture. He's trying to put up distrust so he can do that abusive male thing where they isolate you. You know what I mean? See, there's so many questions here, so many missing pieces, holes in this. It just really makes me wonder what is going on. Because he could have come up with this shit because just throwing it at you because he's feeling insecure about your past. He doesn't know what you've been doing or who you've been doing it with. So, he's trying to do what they call it. They're trying to feel you out. And so he's, coming up with some bullshit just to see how you respond. So it could be that. And it could be that you have a quote friend that you think you have that you don't really have and that you put more on it than what you thought, that she's not the friend that you thought she was. So, and then go back to him, based on the information that you hear, you should be able to make a decision whether you should dump him, dump her, or dump both of them. Don't make excuses for either one of them. Don't do that because if this thing is short, starting out all funky, you don't say how long you've been. Wait, did you say how long you've been dating? Hold on, let me scroll. Okay, you say she's your best friend of 9 years, but you don't say how long you've been dealing with him. Okay. I don't know. I just feel like, if you feel that you've been anyway, there's some monkey shines going on, just get rid of both of them. Fuck them. You don't need to have any kind of drama like that going on in your life. And that's the problem a lot of women make. They see this as bullshit coming their way, and they don't do anything about it. Say, one or both of them needs to go. Which one, you will have to figure that out. And the last letter number 8. I am an African American woman who has fallen totally in love with my Japanese American boyfriend. Ooh, I'm so jealous. It is so serious that we are often talking about marriage. I never intended to fall in love out of my race. Therefore, I never thought about the question of what to teach my children about race. But now I am confused because he is not only half Japanese but half white. He likes to joke with me when I talk about it and reminds me that my blood is not pure African. Like many African Americans, we've got everything in my family, and I am often asked if I'm part Asian anyway. But I feel that my culture is pure African American. How am I supposed to instill racial confidence in part black, part Japanese, part white, part Indian children? You doing too much. You thinking too much. Don't want confused kids. That's how she signed it. Girlfriend, the only one who's confused here is you. This thing about America, when we go to school, what do we learn? We learn about ancient Chinese. We learn about, the Russian culture. We learn about African culture. We learn about American history. We learn about Mexico. This is America. There's a melting pot. Everybody's from every corner of the world here. So your children are going to be exposed to everything. Even religions and cultures and stuff that neither one of you are. Your children are going to learn about those. And they're going to be exposed to those. They're going to have friends like that. They're going to eat that kind of food. Okay, you're doing too much. You're overthinking this. It's no big deal. You just expose your children to a little bit of everything because when you got all this going on, your kids ain't going to be black. No, they're not going to be pure black no more. So you don't need to focus on just African American culture. You need to teach them about every culture, just like I said. It's like, I identify as an African American woman, but as I was growing up, I was fascinated with the Japanese culture, so I learned a lot about it. I learned a lot about the ancient, Egyptians. I'm not Egyptian, but I still was fascinated with that culture. I learned about Africans. I learned about Chinese culture. These people were just like the bomb shiznit coming up with all kinds of shit. I learned about Italian. You Filipino. you're doing too much. You're doing too much, and you're overthinking it, and you're putting up barriers where there don't need to be any. I'm glad he laughed at your ass because at least he's got some sense about it, and you just doing the most. I mean, you think about it. Your kids are going to be comfortable with whatever you expose them to. And as they grow up, they can choose what they want to identify as because you haven't even had the kids yet. So you don't know what they're going to look like or what they're going to, feel the most comfortable identifying as. So just leave this alone. If you love the man, get with the man. Have you some little Blasian, black, Indian, whatever, the fuck children. They'll probably be really cute. And, you know, just like if the dude is treating you right, then that's the man for you. That's all you need to worry about. Stop having worries and shit in advance about stuff that is meaningless. Everybody in the United States that's got skin looking hard like us is a mixture of ethnicities. Okay, you can't just pick one unless that's what the child wants to do with it. It decides that is that's going to be its dominant choice for identification. Because these days, they even have biracial on all these census forms and stuff. So your kid, I mean, it's a very common thing. So don't worry about it. Oh my God. The Japanese culture and the history is very, very rich, very interesting. Um, so I think your kids will be proud to be a mixture of both of you. They'll have wonderful things to talk about from both sides of their parents. So don't worry about that. They could be eating their sushi and they're a side of collard greens. Ah, anyway, that's enough of that. So this is the closeout for the daily dose that I promised you guys from May 1st through May 15th. Like I said, we'll see about adding to this a little bit later. I need a rest because y'all be wearing me out. This was kind of exhausting, because the questions. I'm like, oh my God, these people need help. Um, but tomorrow, join us tomorrow for the live stream. Like I said, starting at 6 o'clock. We're going to be talking about this incel movement and these men who feel like they are entitled to have women. And if the women don't want to be bothered with them, then they feel like you forcing them to be celibate and you forcing them to be lonely and you forcing them to be by themselves. And it's all your fault, women. It's all your fault. It's not their fault that they're fat, ugly, dumpy, and stupid. It's your fault. Okay? So we're going to talk about that. Anyway, this is Deb Cooper from survivingdating.com. Thanks, you guys, for sitting here with me listening to all this craziness. It's been wonderful. Be sure to share a video link or two with your friends, and I'll see you tomorrow night on the live stream. Bye-bye.